Hello there and welcome to my YouTube channel, Juliet Neil Crafts, and it's time for Dawn and Julia Create, the first one of 2022. So I am still on the back of having, I know you'll have probably heard about this loads by the time you're actually watching this, but having completely gutted and reorganised my craft space, which was very cathartic and therapeutic, and yeah, I now have a very streamlined craft stash. But I did come across journals like this, which, to be honest, I have fallen out of love with. I liked the idea of it, having a journal that I just used, and when I did it, I said it didn't really matter if I did 6 pages or whether I did a massive one. It didn't really matter, and it's true, it doesn't really matter. But it's not my most favourite journal. I think not long after I got this, I then got the pink pig ones, which ended up becoming my favourites, and I use them all the time. But there are some quite pretty pages in it. I love this page. And I like this page. These are okay, but they're not my favourites. I'm not that keen on that one. And really not keen on these ones. So yeah, I'm looking at it. There's only a handful of pages in it. And there's only really this one and this one that I absolutely love. So I don't really feel the need to hang on to this journal and have it clutter up my room. As I said, I have been ruthless. So the challenge is to either take an art journal page that we hate and rework it so that we like it, or take a journal we don't like, take a page out of a journal we don't like and incorporate it into a new page. So this is one of my new favourite journals. This is my pink pig, but my 11 by 11. I normally work my A5 pink pig. Well, actually the colours of that one go quite nice there. Yeah, I normally work in my A5 pink pig journal, but I thought I could incorporate this page here into this journal. I think I have that washi just nearby, so I'm going to go grab it. The thing about journaling like this is I've saved a few pages actually. I've got a page of like one of my first ever journals, but it's emotionally quite precious to me. So I've kept the page, and I want to, because I really don't like the journal anymore. But it was one of the first ones that I did. I'll show it to you because I've got it here, because I'm planning on doing the exact same thing. It's not one of the best page, but my very first pregnancy, I lost the baby, and there was a little girl, she was about 7 at the time, and she wrote me a card to say that she was thinking about it, and her way of comforting me was, she says, "And we will always love art." And I don't know, it was really cute, and so I've journaled that there, and you know, I got the card and I cried and cried and cried, but it was yeah, a gorgeous thought. So I don't like that journal anymore, but that page means a lot to me, so I will be incorporating that into a journal at some point. So I think it's a good way of sort of things like that, that you know, I don't particularly love the journal, but there are elements and pages of it that I don't particularly want to keep. So I'm just keeping the pages, reworking them into a journal I do like, because at the end of the day, our houses can only fit so much stuff. So as much as I love all the journals and be like, yeah, it's a part of who I am, it's part of my creative journey, all of this sort of stuff, there's only so much we can keep in our house before it starts overwhelming us, and then our house gets, well, for me anyway, when our house gets us down, we can start, it can just start bothering us a little bit. So it is one way of sort of getting around that. We can sort of keep the precious bits that we want to keep, but rework it into a way that we like it. It's also sort of a way of decluttering, because now those precious pages are going to be in a new journal. So I've got them in one journal instead of, well, it'll be about 3 or 4. I think there was a few pages out of different journals that I kept, and this one. So I'm going to be reworking a few of these, not necessarily all in this video. So at the minute I'm just popping, I'll find the end of it, I'm just popping washi tape down. Now it's done that, you know that sellotape thing where you can't find the end. Yeah, so once again, I need to apologise for the sound. I'm actually filming this the same day that I filmed the last Dawn and Julia Create, when I can't find the microphone for my I can't find the microphone for the camera, and I daren't touch it because we had a Skype test for a Shanda call, and honestly everything crashed just before the test call, and we were like, sorry, do you mind calling us back after we fix it? And so my husband spent ages fixing it, and it was so stressful because obviously we had them calling back at a certain time and it still wasn't fixed. So I daren't touch anything too much because I don't want to wreck what we've got sorted. So here I'm creating a bit of a background, but I'm doing it with washi. The reason I'm doing it with washi and stamps is just because it was literally on my desk, so it was convenient and I didn't have to think about it overly much. And also I've got a similar, this is the number version, I don't have that one anymore. I've got the number version of the washi on the page, so I'm thinking that that is a good start. I'll pop a little bit up here. So we will see how we go today. Right. Let me see now. La la la. Where's the edge? Where's the edge? Honestly. I've never had that issue before with washies. There we go. Right, so got this down. Fortunately, we've created a few dirty marks on the page, but we'll deal with that as we go. Right, so I think I'm just going to put that down like that. Doesn't need a huge amount more, to be honest. I think let's get a little bit of stenciling just sort of maybe coming out of it, and I think I'll be quite happy with that. I'm going to use this one, the Build a Branch one. So I'm going to get we've got the pink over here. So I think we'll do that. So I'm going to go get picked raspberry. Oh, it's to hand, so I don't have to stop the camera, which is wonderful. So let's get some of this down. Unfortunately, this brush seems to be a little bit contaminated. It keeps biting me in the bum a little bit. And I thought it was clean, because it's like I dealt with that on another project. The last Dawn and Julia Create. Which I literally just filmed about 2 minutes ago. But I'm being all organised. This will be like a whole 2 weeks in advance. Crazy talk. Right, I need a bit more up here. As for me anyway. There we go. A little bit more, I think. Over here, where the camera's doing some sort of weird thing that's not happy with the connection. Right, and then I'm going to bring a tiny bit just in on this corner here. Like so, and then I'm going to check what's going on. Because I'm obsessed with edging, most of this page has got an edge anyway, just not down this side. So I'm going to add a bit of that to this side. And then I think, I'm just going to pull in a pen and do some doodling. I do have a bit of doodling as well, so it'll match it all in. So that's one of the tips. If I do, I need a thicker pen, a thin one. If I do this thing here where I've accidentally pulled it in, I will cover that when I do my squiggle. So it's like I'll kind of draw along here. And I always do like a little squiggle in between, but I make sure I've got plenty of squiggles at those bits where I've just come in slightly, and then it just completely disguises it. So we'll pop that down there, like so. I think we're pretty much probably good to go. So the other way is, because I've done all the work on that, that is also a very quick and easy page. So we can maybe tackle a few of the ones in that book. Maybe do the poppy one as well. Let's do 2. Right. Let's put that there. Okay. Put that just there. Now I feel like I want to bring in a bit of green, but I think what I'm going to do is grab my let me see. I think I'll grab some watercolours. colours. Oh, actually, I've got my Pretty Gets Gritty explosion powders, but they're in that sort of paint palette form, because that mermaid is a beautiful blue-green. So I do actually sort of have them labelled there so I know what they are. Plenty of water on there because there's loads of mica. I know it doesn't look like it, but because all the water's evaporated, it's literally just mica sitting at the bottom. And I started off with lots of water in there. So give it a good stir, get all that mica going again. It's all just sitting at the bottom there. You just work it and get it going. And it's fine because it'll just dry out again. So it works like any other sort of in the pan watercolours that you might have. And I like this because it's a sort of blue-green. It sort of dries blue but has like a gold shimmer which gives it a green tone, which I think will just go lovely in here. So, oh, it's resisting the corset oil. It's resisting the washi. So that's interesting. I forgot it would do that, but yeah, that's fine. So if you don't want it to resist the washi like it just has, either go over it with like a clear gesso, but I think it's alright. It's just going to add an extra detail that I wasn't expecting, but I'm okay with it actually, quite happy. Or use an acrylic based product and not a watercolour based product, and then that should go over your washi fine. But yeah, I'm not wanting loads of colour, I'm just like a little nod, just a little nod so that it looks a bit more of the page. Yeah, I actually think I was going to say, oh, my rule of threes, but I'm actually not feeling the need to. I'm quite happy with that as is. So, oops. And then I might just add, not many, but let's just add a few little. I'm going to let that dry before I turn the page, so that'll turn into splodges. But yeah, I think I'm quite happy with that as a page. What I will just do, because it is me, is let's just doodle completely around the edge of the page, and I love that as a page. I'm really, really happy with that as a page actually. So I've got a page that I really liked in a journal I wasn't in love with, and I've now got it so that I love it in a journal I love too, because I absolutely love this journal. It's one of my new favourites, I have to say. I'm loving the Pink Pig journals. I do struggle with the paper a little bit. I do find it pills quite easily when using lots of water. But I always say to people, don't worry about that, just persevere with it, because I was the same with my Dina Wakley journal. At first I wasn't overly thrilled, but it was just because I wasn't used to water reacting that way, because it was like more of a cotton based page, although it was watercolour, and I was used to sort of working on either hot press or cold press ones where the water moved a lot more. So this is fine. I just find that I can't work as much as I can other things, but yeah, I just have to learn not to do techniques that need a lot of working. So it's still absolutely fine. So let's just get that doodling in, frame it, but yeah, happy with that. So there you go. That was a page I did on January 1st, 2021, and now I'm sort of almost ending the year with it. I'm actually filming on December 20th, even though I'm not sure what day in January this will be shown. I know it'll be the second Saturday, but yeah, not being a walk-in diary, I don't actually fully know when that'll be. So I'm just going to let that dry naturally, and then I will come back. I need to go and cook dinner anyway. Now it's 20 to 5. I'm actually surprised hubby's not in. He works as a window cleaner, so it's like dark outside, so I don't suppose he's seeing the windows that he's cleaning right now. If he's still out there. Right, so I'll let that dry, and I think seeing as we've not taken forever, I think part of me is wondering now whether I should see, I'm saying I didn't need it in 3, and now I'm looking at it going, maybe just a tiny bit. Maybe just a tiny little bit. That's okay to change your mind. Not a lot. I'm just going to there, just because I can, because I fancied it in the moment. There we go. Right, so I'm going to let that dry, and then maybe we can take this page. So we've got Poppy, and maybe we can pop her on another page once this is all dry. So I'll be back to you in just a moment. Okay, so I've got this one. This is Poppy. What I have realised is I do quite like this page too, and that's part of her dress. So, but I was thinking I can always extend. We can, yeah. But I've also got this background here, which was me just, I think it was me prepping for a show. So it's like I just sort of worked out. I tell you what it was. Do I have the actual page? That's the page I did in the show, in a TV show, that one there. And that was me sort of working out a layout, but I end up with like a couple of, because I end up having to repeat stages. So yeah, I think that looks quite nice in the middle. It goes quite nice with that, although it's very similar layout to the last one we did. But yeah, it's alright. I can live with that, I think. Still having issues with my glue. I'm going to have a little check with my glues. So after I finished filming this, I'm going to, oh, my prep. I've been prepped a week in advance. I know. It's most unlike me. But I just need to go through my list of all the supplies that I need for all the demos, and then I can work that out. Right, I'm thinking that because we've got, let me see if I can find a ruler. Okay, because we've got these holes here, that I might sort of try and make it almost like a bit of a feature. I'm just gonna draw a couple of lines like that. I don't really quite know what I'm doing here. Ooh, I wasn't going to, I was just going to do, no, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Let's just do, let's do some more lines. I'm sort of thinking, I don't know what I'm thinking. And then I'm going to do, I'm actually just going to write A Simple Life is a Beautiful Life, because we've got that there, but I'm going to do the writing where you can't actually see it, but you're still writing something, so it's, I can't remember, it does have a name. So it's like you are writing. Oh, Dina Wakely mentions it. I can't think what it is right now. So it's like I've pretty much said what that sentiment is there, but I've done it like that. Now let me have a little look through the old bit box and we can see if we've got any little embellishments that might just work with that. I'm just going to pause the camera while I... So we have some clouds, because why wouldn't you, quite frankly? It's me. Why wouldn't you have clouds? Of course you would have clouds. Let's get some clouds on. So yeah, I've just picked up a few little bits and bobs from the old bit box. Got to love a bit box. Right, I'll bring this down here. Going to keep it quite simple. Then I've got this little thing here, which doesn't particularly match her dress, but we've got pinks and teals going on in the background, so I think it kind of works. And then we've got these little things here, so it's just kind of almost taking that garden feel, but we're coming out of the picture a little bit. So we've got the main frame, but it's kind of spreading out a little bit across the page just to give it a bit more detail. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab, let me see, what should I grab? Probably my watercolours, they're just here. It's like decisions, so many lovely products, what ones to use? Right, let's grab some water. I'm going to activate this one because it looks similar colours. going to go for the teal, and I'll go for a yellow. And we'll just see what we've got. Plenty of water just to get it activated. Right, and the purpose of this really is, what I want to do is to extend the grounding out. So I'm going to maybe do a little bit with paints and then possibly a little bit with some pencil. So it's just that illusion of grass, because we've brought these flowers and things just outside of that zone, that we just sort of extend it, so we bring it out further. I just think that's a bit quirky. Right, so we've got that colour in, and then I'm going to just see about bringing in some of the darker blue, which hopefully will correspond to correspond to some of the colours that we've got going on in the background. So I'm using my Kiritaki Ganzi Tambis. Love. I don't know, one of the things I love about Kiritaki Ganzi Tambi is just saying it. It's just fun. Right, so we'll let that dry. I'm just going to grab a bit more of it, and just, I don't want loads of splatters, but just a little bit coming up. So we'll let that dry, and then I will go over that with some pencil. Dried that off with a heat gun a little bit. I'm going to take some pencils, and I'm just going to scribble along here just to make it look slightly more grass-like. So I've got this blue. I'm going to do it with different colours. I've got a darker green. Anyone can do this. Never be afraid to scribble and do it. Like, this is literally scribbles, but what it does is it just adds that little bit of texture to it, and yeah, it's like the impressionism and everything. It's not like fine art, but it just gives that illusion. I'm also going to just go on with my pen and just do a little bit more with the black, just to sort of define that a little bit. I really, really like the way that looks actually. It's kind of quirky, but I love it. Right, so now I've managed to take 2 pages that I liked and a journal that I don't like, because I don't like the journal, I'm not likely to flip through it and look at it that often, whereas this is one of my favourite journals, so I do quite often flip through this one. And so now I can sort of see those pages that I love in all their glory. So although I do sort of say you don't have to have, your journals don't have to be perfect, and it's good to see the progress that you've made. It's like that one I brought in. I don't think that's my best art journaling at all, but it means a lot to me. And yeah, I can see how I've progressed. But there's also no point keeping stuff that you really hate. If it bothers you and it makes you unhappy, then do something about it. You know, there's no rules, and that's the thing. There's no rules to say you have to keep pages that you don't like, and there's no rules to say, like, if you want to keep them, do. It's basically, it's your journal. Just do what on earth you want with it. It doesn't really matter. And that's what I love about journaling and crafting. There's absolutely no rules. It's a place where you can just truly be you and not have to worry about anything else. And I absolutely love that page now. In fact, I wish I could be putting that on my Instagram right now, because yeah, but I'm gonna have to wait a while. I love that page. Absolutely love how that's turned out. It's just, yeah, really delighted with that. So we've got that one, and we've got, see, for example, I don't particularly like this page, so I may at some point do something about that. I probably will. Now, where's the page that we did? This one. So yeah, I like this one. I do like how that turned out, and I'm much happier with it there than where it was in my former journal, but I am completely in love with that. So I love both of those, but yeah, definitely edging towards this as my favourite. So thank you so much for joining me. I don't know whether Dawn will have tried to fix a page or whether she's moved a page into a different journal. Can't wait to see what she's done. I actually know that she was working on her journal today as well, I think. Or was it yesterday? yeah, we're both working in advance. I mean, she always does, but for once I'm joining her in the whole Let's Be Organised club. I know. Anyway, do pop across and see what our lovely Dawn has done. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have enjoyed it here, please do consider liking and subscribing, and I will be back with some more crafty goodness very, very soon. Okay, take care then, and goodbye.